Hi, in this video I'm going to show you how to prepare a bodice block for digitizing. The same principles would apply for any pattern piece or pattern block that you're going to use. You trace off your pattern, making sure you've used either a fine liner or a pen, not a thick texter. Make sure to have your drill holes and your grain line. So using the sheet that you've got provided, we're going to mark in the grain line. So the grain line is marked as an A and an A. I tend to write first and second here because that prompts me in the order that I'm going to digitize in. I'm also going to mark in a starting point so that I remember again whilst I'm digitizing. So I mark in all the obvious points. So the obvious points are all my beginning end points. So all those corner points are marked in with the 2. I label them all as 2. I then look for other obvious points. So notches are very easy to identify. So they're labeled with 6s. Any drill holes, you label with the 3. And what I leave for second last and last, I leave the characteristic points, and then after last I'll do the curve points. So the characteristic points are anything that's not a beginning end point but you want to sort of come up, change direction. If I didn't have a characteristic point here, if I just digitized 6 and 6, bodice would digitize in a straight line. So if I label that as a 1, it will hold that point out there. Similarly down here, I would put a 1 as well. And then even though it's not marked in on my pattern, I tend to put in a 1 near the center front if I know that I want those corners to be 90 degrees, so I can come back later and square using that point. Once I've marked in all my regular points, what I'm going to mark in are my curve points. Now there's a bit of a trick to doing that. Now, if you had an old-fashioned ruler with a wheel on it, you can wheel it, but what I do is I place my ruler on that characteristic point there and on that corner point there, and I slide out in a parallel way, and when I hit the line, that's where I mark in my first curve point. I then take my ruler from that point and take it to the corner point, and where I connect with the line again is where I do my next one and my next one. What you'll notice with this curve, because it's quite an even curve, I almost could have eyeballed it. However, when you've got curved lines that aren't so even, you'll find that you need to do it differently. So with this one, I'm going to take my ruler from that point to that point and take it out. Where it hits it is the deepest part of the curve. So you can see that this isn't in the halfway mark due to the shaping of the curve. I don't know if I need another one there, so I might just leave it. This way you'll always end up with an odd number of curve points, and sometimes the computer will generate more. I might divide that section into 2 as well. And these are going to be marked in upside down, but you know the drill. And this one here, and again. And if your points aren't squared, you always make sure when you are digitizing that it's nice and squared up. So I'm going to take that in, slide it, where it connects with the point is where I put my curve point. Okay, so 1 or 3 points, and sometimes you might need more than that. So we've labeled everything there. What I'm missing is the waistline also has some curve points, and this is such a subtle one. So I'm going to take it from the notch point and just mark that in. And with this one here, I'm going to go from here and here and take that up into there. If you want to divide it again, you can. And this is just to get the pattern into the system. Once you are in bodice, you would need to go back and just double check your shaping and have a look. So that's a prepared pattern piece.